Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth millions? Yep, you read that right. Today, we're diving into one of the most surprising and rare finds you could come across in your coin collection. The 2009 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark. This little guy is blowing minds and bank accounts, and we're going to explore why it could be worth a jaw-dropping $2 million. Yep, you heard that right. So, stick around. This might just turn your loose change into something worth more than your last trip to the coffee shop. All right, let's get down to business. Now, you're probably familiar with the usual pennies. Copper, shiny, kind of boring, right? But the 2009 Abraham Lincoln penny? This thing is special. The thing that sets this penny apart from the rest of its penny pals is the no mint mark. But before we go all in, let's break it down and talk about the basics. In 2009, the U.S. Mint released a series of pennies to honor the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. These pennies were special because each one had a unique design representing different parts of Lincoln's life: his birth, his growth, his presidency, and his legacy. But, and here's the kicker, most of these pennies have a mint mark on them, like a little D or S, to show where they were made, Denver or San Francisco. However, some pennies in that year didn't have any mint mark at all. And those, my friend, are like finding a unicorn in a sea of horses. You see, there was a mix-up at the mint in 2009. While the majority of pennies were stamped with their usual mint marks, a very small batch slipped through the cracks without one. These unmarked pennies are extremely rare, and if you happen to find one in your collection, you could be sitting on a gold mine, or should I say, a copper mine. But hold on a second, let's talk value. When most people think of pennies, they think, what, a penny? It's practically worthless. But that's where the surprise comes in. Because of how rare these no-mint mark 2009 pennies are, they can fetch a pretty penny themselves, pun intended. In fact, one of these rare pennies was recently sold for a whopping $2 million. Yes, you read that right, $2 million. I mean, that's enough to make you question every penny you've ever thrown away. How do I find one of these elusive treasures? Well, it's not as easy as checking your spare change. First off, these pennies are so rare that they're not just hanging out in your couch cushions or your local convenience store's penny jar. But if you have an old coin collection lying around, or you're lucky enough to come across one in a recent batch of coins, then you've hit the jackpot. Now, let me tell you a quick story about my own experience with finding rare coins. A few years ago, I was going through some old coins my grandfather passed down to me. He was a collector and always told me to look out for rare pieces. I wasn't expecting much, maybe a few interesting pennies, nickels, or dimes. But lo and behold, I stumbled across a 1943 steel penny. I was so excited, I almost dropped it. It wasn't worth millions, but it was worth a solid amount. I felt like a coin detective on the hunt for hidden treasures. And that's the fun of it, right? It's the thrill of the chase. A 2009 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Keep your eyes peeled, because you could be holding the next big jackpot in your hands. But hey, even if you don't strike it rich with a $2 million penny, coin collecting is a fun hobby that can pay off in more ways than one. Plus, it's a great conversation starter at parties. If you found this little nugget of coin wisdom helpful and want more tips on what to look for in your pocket change or coin collection, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the next treasure hunt. Hey, coin enthusiasts and curious collectors, you're digging through an old jar of pennies, and one little coin could buy you a mansion, a sports car, or even a private island. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, grab a cup of coffee and get comfy because today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 2006 D. Abraham Lincoln penny, a humble little coin with a whopping market value of up to $1 million. Yeah, you heard me right. Let's find out why this penny is worth more than its weight in gold and how you could be holding a jackpot in your spare change. What makes the 2006 D penny so special? First off, let's talk about the D mint mark. That D stands for the Denver Mint, where this coin was made. Now, here's the kicker. Most 2006 D pennies are just your average pocket change. But every so often, a rare error slips through the cracks, and that's where things get interesting. there's a specific error on some of these pennies that makes them worth a fortune. It's called a double die error, where parts of the design, like Lincoln's profile or the date, appear slightly doubled. It's like Lincoln had a rough night and now he's seeing double. These mistakes are super rare, and collectors go absolutely bananas over them. How much is it really worth? So, why the $1 million price tag? Simple: supply and demand. Coin collectors love rare errors, and when a coin is both scarce and unique, the value skyrockets. A flawless, error-stricken 2006 D penny in mint condition recently sold at auction for, you guessed it, a cool $1 million. That's like trading a penny for a Ferrari. Not too shabby, right? How to spot $1 million penny in your pocket? Okay, now for the fun part. How can you find one? First, grab a magnifying glass or your phone's zoom camera and inspect every single 2006 D penny you come across. Pay close attention to the date, Lincoln's face, and even the letters Liberty or United States. If you notice any doubling or funky details, you might have just hit the jackpot. Oh, and pro tip, check the edges too. Sometimes errors hide in plain sight. A personal penny story. Let me tell you about the time I found what I thought was my golden ticket. I was cleaning out my junk drawer, the one where random batteries, paper clips, and ancient takeout menus go to die, and I stumbled upon a 2006 D penny. My heart skipped a beat. I squinted at it under my desk lamp, imagining myself on a beach sipping pina coladas. Turns out, it was just a regular penny with some ketchup on it. Yep, back to reality. But hey, it gave me a good laugh, and now I always check my coins. Who knows? Lightning might strike twice. So, what's the takeaway? That little copper coin in your couch cushions could be worth a fortune, if you're lucky. The 2006 D. Abraham Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes the smallest things in life hold the biggest surprises. If you've got a penny jar, now's the time to rate it. And if you find one of these treasures, don't forget to thank me when you're chilling on your yacht. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth big money. Let's uncover those hidden gems together. And hey, leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you've got a junk drawer story like mine. We're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting with a story that will make you check every penny you've ever touched. Here's the deal. A seemingly ordinary 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has made headlines with a staggering value of $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single cent is worth over $1 million. I don't know about you, but I'm about to raid every couch cushion and swear off Coinstar machines forever. Stick around, because I'm breaking down everything you need to know about this little copper celebrity and how you might spot one for yourself. So, what's the big deal with the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny? First, let's talk about mint marks. If you've ever examined a coin, you'll notice tiny letters like P, D, or S near the date. These tell you where the coin was minted: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But if a coin has no mint mark at all, that's when things get interesting. The 1994 Lincoln penny should have been minted in Philadelphia, meaning it should have the P mint mark. However, a few slipped through the cracks without any mint mark. These are incredibly rare. So rare, in fact, that coin experts believe only a handful exist. This kind of error makes collectors go absolutely wild, driving up the value like it's a bidding war for the last slice of pizza at a family gathering. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how does a penny go from being worth 1 cent to over $1 million? Excellent question. Coin values are determined by rarity, condition, and demand. There's only a few of these known to exist. Condition. The one sold for $1.1 million was graded as mint state, meaning it was in pristine, uncirculated condition. Coin collectors are always chasing the rarest finds, and when one comes along that's almost mythical in status, they're willing to empty their wallets or their life savings. Let me pause here and tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was convinced I'd struck gold, or copper, I guess. I found a penny with no mint mark and nearly had a heart attack. I started imagining my life as a millionaire. Beachfront property, early retirement, maybe even splurging on avocado toast without guilt. But after a closer look and a quick consultation with an expert, It turned out my penny was just a regular Philadelphia Mint coin. No $1 million payday for me. Moral of the story: always double check. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these 1994 no mint mark treasures? Look for a 1994 penny. If there's no P under the date, you might be onto something. The better the condition, the higher the value. If it's been rolling around in a parking lot for 30 years, it's probably not worth much. Take it to a professional coin dealer or grading service. They'll confirm whether you've got a rare penny or just pocket change. But let's be real, most of us won't stumble upon a $1 million penny. And that's okay. Even finding a coin worth $50 or $100 can be exciting. Plus, hunting for these hidden treasures is a fun and affordable hobby. So, there you have it. The story of the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny and how it went from being a humble cent to a millionaire's dream. Who would have thought something so small could hold such incredible value? If this has inspired you to start checking your spare change or take up coin collecting, you're in good company. And hey, even if you don't find a $1 million penny, you might stumble upon something valuable. Or at the very least, enjoy the thrill of the hunt. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of coin enthusiasts. I'll be sharing more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money, strategies for spotting rare finds, and ways to turn your spare change into a small fortune. Don't miss out. You never know which penny could change your life. Hi there, fellow coin enthusiasts, or maybe you just stumbled in here wondering why a penny could be worth more than a luxury car. Either way, you're in the right place. Let's talk about the 1966 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's making waves in the coin collecting world. Yes, you heard me right. A humble penny is now valued at a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. 1 minute you're tossing pennies into a tip jar, and the next, you're digging through your spare change like it's buried treasure. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be rushing to check your couch cushions. But before we dive into the juicy details, hit that subscribe button so you never miss tips on spotting coins that could make you a millionaire. Now, let's get to the good stuff. What's the deal with the 1966 no mint mark penny? Alright, let's break it down. The 1966 penny without a mint mark looks like any other regular old penny. No shiny gold plating, no holographic design. It's not even double-sided or anything crazy like that. Just good old Abraham Lincoln staring into the distance. But here's where it gets interesting. Coins without mint marks usually come from the Philadelphia Mint. However, in 1966, the U.S. Mint did something sneaky. They intentionally left off mint marks across all mints to discourage collectors from hoarding coins. Little did they know, they'd accidentally create one of the most sought-after coins in history. The 1966 penny without the mint mark wasn't special back then. But today, collectors are going wild over these coins, especially when they're in mint condition or show unique errors. Now, here's the $1 million question, or should I say, $1.2 million. The answer lies in rarity and condition. A specific 1966 penny, graded MS-67, mint state 67, sold at auction for $1.2 million because of its flawless condition and historical significance. How many pennies from 1966 could survive decades without scratches, dents, or mysterious sticky substances? Practically none. That's why this coin is like the unicorn of pennies. My coin hunting adventure. Okay, story time. A few years ago, I got this crazy idea to rummage through my old coin jar. I mean, why not? I'd been reading stories about people finding rare coins in their change and making a fortune. So there I was, at my kitchen table, sorting through pennies, nickels, and quarters like I was a pirate on a treasure hunt. Did I find a 1966 no mint mark penny? Nope. But I did find a quarter from 1976 that I swore looked different. It wasn't worth anything, but hey, I had fun dreaming for a hot second. The moral of the story? Even if you don't strike it rich, coin hunting is oddly satisfying. It's like scratching a lottery ticket, but you're not losing any money. If you have a 1966 penny, look for the following. No mint mark, that's step 1. Condition. The shinier and less worn, the better. Errors, look for misprints, double strikes, or anything unusual. If you think you've struck gold or copper, in this case, get your coin graded by a professional. Grading is what turns a neat old penny into a verified collectible worth thousands or even millions. All right, my friends, that's the scoop on the 1966 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Who knew a tiny copper coin could be worth more than a house? If you've got a pile of pennies lying around, it might be time to channel your inner treasure hunter. Smash that like button and subscribe for more tips on spotting hidden treasures in your pocket change. I'll share more stories, strategies, and maybe even a few laughs to keep things interesting. Now, go check your coins. You could be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. Did you know you might be sitting on a penny worth $1.3 million? Yep, you heard that right, a single penny. And no, it's not made of gold, nor does it have magical powers. We're talking about the 1988 D. Lincoln penny. Today, I'm going to break down why this little copper gem is worth a fortune, how to spot it in your pocket change, and how you can join the hunt. So grab your magnifying glass and your jar of coins, and let's dive in. All right, first things first. What's so special about the 1988 D. Lincoln penny? This penny looks just like any other Lincoln cent at first glance. But as with all treasures, the devil's in the details. The key here is the mint mark. The D stands for the Denver Mint, where this coin was produced. But here's the kicker. This particular batch of pennies was struck using a reverse die mint for 1989 pennies. Think of it as a factory mix-up that resulted in one of the rarest error coins in U.S. history. Now, spotting this penny isn't as simple as flipping over a coin and yelling, "Eureka!" You'll need to closely examine the FG initials on the reverse, located to the right of the Lincoln Memorial. These initials, standing for Frank Gasparo, the coin's designer, have a distinct style on the 1989 reverse die. On the rare 1988 D penny, these initials are slightly closer to the memorial and shaped differently than usual. It's a tiny detail, but it's what makes this penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million today. Here's where things get funny. When I first heard about this penny, I practically dumped my entire piggy bank onto the kitchen table. My spouse walked in, saw me squinting at pennies with a flashlight, and said, "Oh great, you've finally lost it." Fast forward 3 hours, and we found exactly 1988 D pennies, but managed to make a huge mess. Moral of the story? Searching for these gems is as much about patience as it is about luck. But seriously, error coins like this are why coin collecting is so exciting. Imagine finding one of these in your change after grabbing a coffee or at the bottom of your couch cushions. It's like winning the lottery, only in slow motion. Now, you're probably wondering, how can I sell one if I find it? Great question. If you do stumble across this rare coin, don't just list it on eBay for $5. Take it to a reputable coin dealer or grading service like PCGS or NGC. Having your coin authenticated and graded can significantly boost its value. And remember, condition matters. A 1988 D penny in pristine condition can fetch the full $1.3 million, while a worn one might still bring in a smaller fortune. So, is it worth rummaging through your coin jar? Absolutely. Even if you don't find this specific penny, there are countless other valuable coins out there. Plus, it's a fun way to turn spare change into big bucks. Who doesn't love a little extra cash, right? All right, folks, there you have it. The story of the 1988 D. Lincoln penny that could make you a millionaire. Whether you're an experienced collector or a total newbie, this is your sign to start hunting. And hey, even if you don't find this exact penny, who knows what treasures might be hiding in your pocket change? Before you head off to check your coins, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money, and you don't want to miss out. Plus, if you've got a great coin story or find, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Happy hunting, and remember, the next time someone tells you a penny isn't worth much, you can tell them about the 1988 D. Lincoln penny. You're digging through your pocket change, just trying to pay for a coffee, and boom. You realize you've been carrying around a penny worth $1.4 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, for one lucky person, it's not just a dream. It's their reality, all thanks to the 1985 D. Lincoln penny. Today, we're diving deep into this rare coin, why it's worth so much, and how you can uncover hidden treasures in your own spare change. Stick around because this story might just change how you see every single penny you've ever ignored. Now, let's get to the juicy part. What makes the 1985 D. Lincoln penny so special? First, a quick refresher. The D mint mark tells us it was minted in Denver. Most pennies from this year are pretty standard, your average copper-plated zinc coins weighing about 2.5 grams. But here's where things get spicy. This particular 1985 D penny, the one that sold for $1.4 million, isn't just your average coin. It's a mint error. That's right. What many would have dismissed as a flawed coin turned out to be a jackpot. This penny has a double die error, meaning the design was struck twice, causing a slightly doubled image. The result? A beautiful, unique imperfection that collectors go absolutely wild for. Now, before you sprint to your coin jar, let me tell you why this penny fetched such a staggering price. Condition is everything. This coin was graded MS 68 by PCGS, one of the highest possible grades. To give you some perspective, if coins were athletes, this one would be the Usain Bolt of pennies. It's pristine, shiny, and as close to perfect as a coin from 1985 can get. But wait, there's more. This particular penny also became famous because of its auction. It wasn't just about the coin. It was about the story behind it. The collector who sold it had a knack for spotting hidden gems in everyday life, just like you could. And when it went to auction, two big-name collectors got into a bidding war, pushing the price sky high. Let me tell you about a time I thought I struck gold, or copper, in this case. I was at my grandma's house, helping her clean out a drawer that probably hadn't been touched since the 80s. You know the kind, dusty manuals for appliances that no longer exist, some keys to who knows what, and a pile of loose change. Being the coin nerd I am, I couldn't resist taking a closer look. There it was, a 1985 penny with a D mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. Could this be the one? I rushed home, cleaned it carefully, don't worry, I know how to do it without damaging the coin, and checked it under a magnifying glass. It wasn't the $1 million penny, but it did have a cool die crack, and I ended up selling it for $15. Not quite a life-changing amount, but hey, it bought me lunch. And the thrill of the hunt? Totally worth it. What's the takeaway here? Coins like the 1985 D Lincoln penny show us that sometimes the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. Sure, not every penny is going to make you a millionaire, but the potential is out there. All it takes is a little curiosity, a good eye, and maybe a bit of luck. Before you leave, here's your homework. Go check your piggy bank, couch cushions, or that random jar of change you've been ignoring. Who knows? You might just have a treasure waiting for you. And if you want more tips, stories, and strategies for spotting coins worth real money, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let's uncover those hidden treasures together. We dig deep into the world of coin collecting and uncover treasures that might just be hiding in plain sight. Now, imagine this. You're at the grocery store, casually tossing some change on the counter, and bam, someone points out you just handed over a penny worth $1.5 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, today, we're talking about the elusive 1979 D Lincoln penny that's making waves in the coin world. Grab a comfy spot, because we're about to dive into why this penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and the $1 million question. Could you have one of these in your change jar right now? Let's start with the basics. The 1979 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and at first glance, it's just another copper-clad coin featuring Honest Abe. But what sets this penny apart is a rare minting error. Now, don't roll your eyes at the word error. This isn't your average typo. This is the kind of mistake that makes collectors go bananas. The key here is in the details, specifically a double die error. In simpler terms, some of these pennies were struck twice, causing the design to appear slightly doubled. It's subtle, but if you look closely at the date or the Liberty text, you'll notice the doubling effect. That tiny flaw is what transforms a 1-cent piece into a $1.5 million jackpot. Now, I know what you're thinking. How the heck did this happen? Picture this. It's 1979. The mint is cranking out coins like there's no tomorrow, and somewhere along the line, a misaligned die created this anomaly. Back then, no one thought much of it. Fast forward to today, and collectors are losing their minds over these rare finds. So, how do you know if you've struck gold? Or in this case, copper? First, grab a magnifying glass. No magnifying glass? Borrow your kid's toy one. It works just as well. Look for doubling on the date. The word Liberty and the motto, "In God We Trust." If you spot it, congratulations, you might be sitting on a fortune. Let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine, we'll call him Joe, was cleaning out his car and found a penny wedged between the seats. It was grimy, gross, and he almost tossed it. But he remembered me rambling on about rare coins, so he decided to check it out. Turns out, it wasn't the famous 1979 D, but it was another valuable error coin. He sold it for $500. So yeah, moral of the story, never underestimate your spare change. Alright, back to the 1979 D. If you think you've found one, the next step is verification. You'll need to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate the coin and assign it a grade based on its condition. The higher the grade, the higher the value. And speaking of value, let's talk numbers. In pristine condition, this penny has sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Even in less than perfect condition, these coins can fetch thousands of dollars. Imagine paying off debt or funding a dream vacation with a single penny. It's the ultimate underdog story. Now, a little word of caution: counterfeits exist. Some folks try to fake doubling by altering regular pennies. So, if you're in the market to buy one of these, always go through reputable dealers and make sure it's been certified. Trust me, you don't want to shell out big bucks for a dud. Alright friends, that's the lowdown on the 1979 D Lincoln penny. Who knew something so small could pack such a big punch? If today's video has you itching to check your couch cushions, car seats, and piggy banks, you're not alone. And hey, if you do find one, don't forget who sent you on this treasure hunt. Before you go, let me ask you this. What would you do with $1.5 million from a single penny? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video or learned something new, hit that thumbs up button. It helps the channel more than you know. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into coins worth money. I've got more tips, tricks, and stories coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Thanks for watching and happy coin hunting. You're digging through the spare change in your pocket and boom, you find a penny worth $1.6 million. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, what if I told you that a humble 1978 Lincoln penny without a mint mark could be your golden ticket? Or should I say, copper ticket? Stick around, because today, we're diving deep into the mystery and value of this rare coin. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. It might just make you a millionaire overnight. Alright, let's break it down. First things first. What's so special about the 1978 Lincoln penny with no mint mark? Now, most coins have a tiny letter stamped on them, indicating where they were minted. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and if there's nothing, that means it came from Philadelphia. Yep, Philly skipped the mint mark on their coins like your neighbor skips mowing the lawn. But here's the twist. Not every no mint mark 1978 penny is worth a fortune. So, what makes this one so valuable? It all comes down to rarity and condition. The specific 1978 Lincoln penny in question was found in pristine condition, graded MS 68 by professional coin graders. In the coin world, that's like winning best hair at a beauty pageant. It's that shiny, flawless finish that sets it apart. Oh, and did I mention it's made of 95% copper? Talk about heavy metal. Now, how did it sell for $1.6 million? Well, rare coins like this are a big deal to collectors. Think of it like Pokemon cards, but for grown-ups who still don't mind spending hours hunting down their Charizard. Auctions are where the magic happens. This specific penny sold to a private collector who clearly had deep pockets and a deep love for pennies. Okay, let me share a quick story. A few years back, I was cleaning out my junk drawer. You know, the one with old batteries, mismatched socks, and a coupon for free fries that expired in 2006. Anyway, I stumbled upon a pile of pennies. One caught my eye because it looked different. No mint mark, shiny as new, and I thought, this could be the jackpot. Long story short, it wasn't. But hey, I made a solid $3 at the coin shop. Moral of the story? You never know what you'll find unless you look. So, what's the takeaway here? The 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth $1.6 million, or it could just be worth 1 cent. The key is checking your change, knowing what to look for, and maybe brushing up on coin grading. You never know what treasures might be hiding in plain sight. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden gems in your coin jar, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be back with more tips, strategies, and stories to help you turn spare change into serious cash. And hey, drop a comment below. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Let's compare treasure tales. You're digging through your spare change, maybe to grab a soda or toss into the laundry fund, and boom, you stumble upon a penny. Not just any penny, though. It's a 1970 D. Lincoln penny, and guess what? That tiny piece of copper could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million today. Yes, you heard that right. $1.7 million for a coin most of us would probably overlook. Stick with me for the next 25 minutes because we're diving deep into why this penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and a funny little story about how I once threw away what might have been a fortune. So, let's start with a bit of background. The 1970 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. Now, not every 1970 D penny is worth millions. Most are only worth their face value, a single cent. But there's one incredibly rare variety that collectors would sell their soul, or at least their car, to own. The secret lies in a mistake. That's right, the most valuable things are often born out of flaws, kind of like my cooking. This penny has what's called a double die error. Essentially, the design on the coin was struck twice, but slightly off-center, creating a shadowy, almost 3D-like effect. This error is especially noticeable on the date 1970, and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Only a handful of these pennies exist. It's like winning the coin collector's lottery if you find one. The last known sale of this rare beauty fetched a staggering $1.7 million. That's more than the cost of a luxury home or a lifetime supply of coffee. So, how do you know if you've got one of these golden, or rather, copper, tickets? Grab a magnifying glass or a smartphone with a zoom function. First, look for that D mint mark under the year. Then, check the date and the letters closely for that doubled appearance. If you spot it, don't go screaming to your neighbor just yet. Get it verified by a professional coin appraiser. Here's where it gets painful for me. A few years ago, before I got into coin collecting, I was cleaning out an old desk drawer. I found a bunch of pennies and, thinking nothing of it, dumped them into a coin jar. Fast forward to last year when I started learning about valuable coins. I realized that one of those pennies might have been a 1970 D double die. I'll never know for sure because I rolled up that jar and took it straight to the bank. Can you imagine? I could have been sitting on $1 million coin and traded it for what? A couple of quarters and dimes. Lesson learned. Always check your change. Why is it worth so much? You might be wondering, why would anyone pay that much for a penny? Great question. It all boils down to rarity and demand. Coin collectors are like treasure hunters. They'll pay top dollar for unique finds to complete their collections. The 1970 D double die penny is one of the rarest errors out there, making it a hot commodity in the coin world. And let's not forget the bragging rights. Imagine pulling out a tiny coin at a party and casually mentioning, "Oh, yeah, this little guy? Worth more than your car. That's worth $1 million alone, right?" All right, folks, before you start raiding your piggy banks or offering to clean out grandma's purse, remember this: patience and persistence are key. Rare coins don't show up every day, but when they do, it can change your life. So, if you're as fascinated by these hidden treasures as I am, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories coming your way about coins worth money, how to spot them, and how to cash in big. And hey, if you've ever found, or think you've found, a valuable coin, drop your story in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Who knows, your story might inspire the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Happy hunting, and may all your pennies be worth millions.